This past year has been difficult for all of us. With COVID, we've just sat home for the past 1.5 years with lockdowns, travel restrictions everywhere. This was unexpected. In 2019, I was a freshman. I had just come from a foreign land. I had done all my education before COVID in India. And coming to university in the States was actually my first exposure to this country. I had never been to this land. I was unaware of the culture. But my freshman semester in 2019 was an experience like no other. I did everything a freshman is expected to do. I went to parties, I went and did explored the city, I went to all my courses on time. I actually attended lecture for that semester. But yeah, it was something we all do as a freshman. It was an absolute new experience as I was in a boarding school before this. A boarding school, I was with an odd 200, 300 more kids in a restricted environment. But college set me free. There were 50,000 kids in this university with no restrictions, no one watching over me, and absolutely complete freedom to do whatever I wanted. So it was just different. But spring semester had something in store which none of us knew about. It was COVID. Mid of spring semester, we heard about this virus originating in China, spreading everywhere in China, extremely dangerous, lethal, causing a lot of deaths. We didn't expect it to spread like this. At least I did not. When it came to the United States, there was not a lot of huff about it, but other countries were actually in panic mode. I remember New Zealand was closing its borders, Japan was closing its borders, India was on the verge to close its borders when my parents were like, you need to get back home. I packed up my entire life in 2 days, got on the first flight I could find back home, and I was there. I was in India. I was there at Delhi airport for about 16 hours before I could actually get out of the airport and go home. This is because of the intense screening they were doing for Corona. It was a phenomena everyone was unaware about at that time. It was crazy. It was a mess, but it was an experience. And I hope I never have an experience like that ever again. These past 1.5 years have been absolutely crazy. We've been sitting at home, doing Zoom school, doing online school, something I never expected would happen, but has actually happened. But it's caused a lot of good changes as well. When I was home for 1.5 years during college, I actually grew much closer to my parents. These past 5 years, I've actually spent very limited time in my home city because I was in a boarding school, and then the last 5 years, I've just not been home. But this time gave me a good time to actually reflect on that. I was home with my family. Every evening we would sit together in our living room. We would discuss various things, world affairs, politics, sports over a cup of tea or coffee, and it would just feel great. At night, after my classes were over, I would just go to my parents' rooms and discuss with them whatever happened throughout the day. Maybe discuss about my dad's business because that's the profession actually I'm studying, and discuss with my mom various topics we could find. It was a great experience because I got to get closer to my school friends as well, whom I had not spoken to for a long time because I shifted my schools in my grade 10, so that was my sophomore year, and I shifted to a different school. So I got back and I got in touch with them again. I actually hung out with them, and it was one of the experiences I never thought I would have because I was expected to be here in Champaign doing a normal semester, going to in-person classes, writing in-person exams. But instead, I was home doing a Zoom school, writing absolutely online exams proctored by someone sitting 7,000 to 8,000 miles away, looking at my face at 9 a.m. while it was 9 p.m. for me. The experience was crazy. Corona is crazy. But we've all lived this 1.5 years, and I feel we've grown up. We've grown more mature, at least for me. Actually, I won't use the term we, I would use the term I. I have grown in this 1.5 years. I've grown to be a different person than I was 1.5 years ago. But I feel this has changed me for the good. And if anything were to come out of it, I hope it came that I've become a more mature and a better person.